Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
We're back with another hot take of Middle Earth.
Hot takes of Middle Earth. Tully, hit me.
It's a bit of a rogue one, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that Sauron gets a bit of a raw deal.
Sauron gets a raw deal.
Little bit misunderstood, in my opinion.
Okay, why?
So there's a few reasons. The first one is, I think he was almost set up to fail. If you look at who Sauron and Saruman were both Maiar or Aule. Aule was the Valar of smithing.
The Smith, yeah.
And
famously created the dwarves, I think.
He did. So he's already got, well, that's part of my point. He's already got a rebellious streak to him.
Right.
Because he did his own thing.
He wasn't supposed to create the dwarves.
No, Arualuvatar created the elves, his perfect beings.
Yeah.
And that meant that
he basically said no one else's creation is allowed to be alive before the elves, didn't he?
He basically said no one else is allowed to make one. And Aule went, yeah, we'll see about that, bro. Do what I like, Tar. So they've already kind of had a bit of a bad influence from the get-go.
Right, okay.
They've then, and I just think it's no coincidence that both of them went evil when you look at who the original master was. And originally,
evil? Who went evil?
Saruman and Sauron.
Okay.
Both of them betrayed the true calling. But actually, as I said, they were both originally the same.
Oh, I got battered by the mouth of Sauron. What the fuck?
Yeah, he's a hard mouth of Sauron. If you know how to use him, he's horrible. So yeah, Sauron misunderstood. The reason that Morgoth was able to corrupt him in the first place was because he was a smith. He wanted order. He was benevolent at first, in his own humblest of opinions, which wasn't that humble.
In his slightly not quite humble opinion.
I'm not saying that he was like a super nice guy who ever was misunderstood completely. He was an ass. But he wasn't. He originally didn't want complete world domination necessarily. That wasn't what he set out for originally.
What, Saruman?
Sauron. Yeah, originally he just set out to create a perfect utopia. Yes, there was a little bit of domination involved in that, but
a tiny bit, yeah.
Most of it was just, the plan was to just let everybody coexist, but it just be spot on. And that's because he was a smith. It's what he did.
Yeah.
Ow. Legolas is.
He liked the creation side of it, didn't he, I guess?
He wanted everything just to be perfect, which for the beings that were already there. So it was a noble intention in the first place. And then he was kind of like, Morgoth kind of flirted with him. He seduced him with the idea of, his ability to get things done. Which from a smith, from a creative's perspective, to be that efficient, as you know as a creative person yourself,
tempting.
Quite tempting. And he thought that he basically was of the opinion that was going to be his best way for his vision to come to the forefront, to come to life, basically.
Yes.
So Morgoth did that, and then there was the battle, which I've forgotten the name of, but the big battle between all of the Valar.
The big scrap,
and they basically destroyed Middle Earth.
Yeah, they terraformed it, didn't they, really?
Yeah, they made it barren and stuff. Like, they pretty much nearly split the world in half.
Yeah.
And that's when Sauron kind of...
No idea where you are on here, by the way.
No, I've just been stuck in, like, one cave. Sauron kind of came back to Middle Earth to fix it. Who's a seal door?
Yeah, there's no Aragorn on this map. It's just a seal door instead.
Oh, brill.
Blew up.
Yeah, so that's when Sauron came back to fix it all. And Battle of the Last Alliance happened, and he slowly started to get more and more vengeful and hate men more and more, men and elves more and more.
Yeah.
And when I kind of read bits on the Silmarillion. I haven't read it in its entirety, I'll be honest.
But it's hard.
Yeah, because
very
it's a
hard.
really hard read. I'm not sitting there, it's not a research piece. I'm sitting there with family trees. And that's his cousin, and they fell out one Christmas. Yeah, it's not happening. Got enough of that in my own family.
Yeah, I had an hard time reading listening to the Silmarillion.
Yeah, you've not sold it to me, put it that way.
No.
So he came back anyway after the big scrap.
The big scrap.
He came back and it kind of got worse, and then slowly but surely, as his hatred for men, is that you? No, that's just another angry Gandalf. As his hatred for men and elves developed, he got more. That's when he got more and more vengeful and more dominating, because he couldn't see his vision and his ego, which a lot of creatives, you listen to any comedian, for example, which is a former creative, they all say that they're massively egotistical.
Oh yeah, you gotta be. You've got to be able to get on a bloody stage and do that on your own in front of people.
So when he realised that these are the people standing in front of him, standing in the way of utopia and ruining it for everybody, then he slowly started. And obviously Morgoth's influence at that point had already been massive on him.
Yeah.
So then he
Melkor.
slowly started then to... Basically, the way I read it was like descend into a madness of sorts.
Oh, fell in the
He
pit.
fell in the big scary pit. He almost decided, started to descend into madness and chaos, because he couldn't do what he set out to achieve, and then his ego kind of won and got the best of him.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
can
not
see
saying
that.
that's excusable, but he never truly. The way that we, as Lord of the Rings fans, see him is that he set out with the intention of being the big bad, and I just find it's not accurate. I think I've said this before. Like George R. Martin makes a comment of writing in the shades of grey. There's more shades of grey to Sauron than there is just pure black of heart.
It's not just
Because he's not
not just
one-dimensional. Just I want to rule the world because I'm dead hard and I want it. Was never his game plan.
it doesn't come across. It's just that's a very boring character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the films did him disservice, and I get it because they didn't have rights to the Silmarillion. It would have been a 27-hour long trilogy.
I would not have complained once.
No, it'd have been 5 films and it'd have been great. I'd have loved every second of it. Please give me some more. But yeah, I do. I just think that actually he's written as this archetype of evil, and I don't feel like that's a true representation of who he was as a character. When you read the Silmarillion and you read his history, he
Much more grey
he
area.
was almost groomed and corrupted by Morgoth.
Oh, he definitely was.
And yeah, okay, the ends don't justify the means, and he wasn't hard done to in any way. I appreciate why the Fellowship and the peoples of Middle-earth treated him the way they did and saw him the way they did. But it's almost glossed over, especially by Gandalf, who, let's be honest, we all love him. He's a tad sanctimonious. He's a little bit, holier than thou. Aruma Luvatar's sometimes thinking, calm down.
He's never supposed to be the big beacon for good. Like,
No.
I know he's supposed to just be the guide for mankind to fight back on their own accord.
I also find
Any of the wizards would have been able to just take over and go, yep, you fight for me now.
Yeah, that's basically what Sauron did, but his motivations are often ignored, I think is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically it. His motivations were ignored, and he didn't start off to just dominate all life, as
could
is
have-
suggested. Well, yeah, what do you think? Can you
mean,
see my logic at
I
least?
can completely see your logic. I think
Still an arsehole, though, isn't he?
Oh, he's still, he was an evil demigod. But he would have won in court if he took the hobbits to court to just get his
He stole his shit.
his jewellery back.
Just literally robbed him.
He would have won.
He would have won.
What do you guys reckon?
Let us know in the comments below.
See you
Thanks for
later.
your time.